When I was younger, there were 2 summers in a row where me and my brother saw a pterodactyl fly kind of due northeast over our house. And you're probably thinking, that's a crazy story. Why would anybody say that? How could you believe that a pterodactyl walked with man? I guess flew with man, because we fly now. Well, I don't know if you ever noticed all the geese around. You don't see how many bobcats you see around. I think bobcats are native to this area. You don't see any of those, though. You don't see no bobcats, but you'll see a whole bunch of geese. There's a crap ton of birds. Thankfully, that people have cats. Cats actually decrease the population of birds to a freaking sustainable amount. Else we'd all be getting woke up. But cats, I mean, there's like a predator we're putting out in the environment, especially in the towns. Anyway, it's kind of a fun little tidbit about the genocide of birds from domesticated cats. Well, their migration paths aren't cut off. When you can fly, that you have pretty much free range. When you're that free, when you can fly free like a bird, when you're free like a bird. Well, you can look this up, and I can't find it now, but I found it, and I didn't pay for the article, but I found like the headline of the article that was in the Panagraph. This was our local paper here in Illinois, and you can see right here, in 1948, several witnesses along the Illinois-Missouri border citing a condor-like bird about the size of a Piper Club airplane. There's a lot of stories of abductions in various magazines and stuff like that, newspapers, and stories, true stories, are supposed to be true. Had a wingspan of 20 to 30 feet. That was pretty big. And there's some pictures of a different type of bird. It wasn't the bird that I saw. Yeah, it looked like a big-ass blackbird, and you can see those around. Well, I've told this story, and everybody's like, you're fucking crazy. And my mother-in-law, I won't use her real name, we'll call her Sandy. She was coming home down Route 9. It was Route 9 and 122 coming from, I think we're out at the cabin, which is out by Armington. And then I think she was pretty much right before getting into Bloomington. There's like 2 hills, and she says it kind of you'll have to talk to her. It was a youngin', and it had scurried across like the road there. She said it was huge. It spread out its wings, and it was, wider than a semi, which is long. I don't know. How long are semis? How wide is a semi? Let's just get like some perspective on this, because this is a real account. She said I could interview her. Okay. How wide is a semi? Man and dinosaurs always walk together. 2 meters, so that's 8 feet. 2 meters, 2.6 meters. So 13 feet wide, 8.5 feet wide. So it's wider than 8.5 feet. I don't know. It's a bird with large wingspan. No, not beak. So 8.5. She said it looked like a youngin'. She said it didn't look like any other bird. The largest extant bird with a wingspan is the wandering albatross of the sub-Antarctic oceans. The maximum dimension of this species are a length of 1.44 meters, wingspan of 12 feet. Well, I wonder what the hell she actually saw. She said it looked like a freaking pterodactyl. Anyway, that's another account, and I believe her. She freaked out, stopped. She called me, and then called Alicia, who was kind of traveling behind her. The Condor 24. What is that? That's a big bird, dude. That's like prehistoric, like in its own. Well, 28 million years ago. See, dinosaurs and man walked together. They always want you to believe that we are so far removed from God. They want you to think that we're going to leave this planet. It's impossible, dude. You can't leave this planet. Hold on. So the word dinosaur basically came about around 1856 and afterwards. They kept the tearful lizard or whatever. I don't know. I read this etymology on the word dinosaur, Dinosauria, which is a terrible lizard. Terrible lizard. They want you. It's the language. They control you by the language. Okay, by what you say. There was a time when we thought we could build up to heaven, build up so high that even though God wanted to flood the earth, we would survive. And he destroyed it. He divided the language. Can evolution explain why we have so many languages? Why would we develop different languages if we all came from one Homo species? The evolution of language. Okay. Symbology is a thing because language were created in an instance. We were divided by our language because we were controlled by our words, right? How do you fight that? I can't say this, you can say that. We can't understand each other, so we use symbols to communicate back and forth, okay? We are controlled by what they say. Dinosaurs are dragons. Okay, fire-breathing dragons, sure, they existed. They were written about. They were written about in the Bible, okay? They were called dragons in the Bible. We walked with dragons, mammoth-like creatures who were huge, okay? They're written about even in the Bible and historic accounts. That's why you can find human footprints and dinosaur footprints in the same stratosphere fossilized. That's kind of interesting, huh? And this is in Russia and other areas. Yeah, here, Russia. So, boom. I mean, people do extensive research on this stuff. They've always walked. I mean, literally, look at that. How can you say they haven't walked with the dinosaurs? We were there. It wasn't that long ago. As we know, it doesn't take that long to wipe out a species because we done a pretty good job on our own. We didn't need a flood. We just needed chemicals. That's why all the freaking frogs are gay. Turn the freaking frogs gay, man. Even though they're already kind of like able to change their gender, but the atrazine and soy didn't help. Man, I tell you, evolution was not very good. I read this book a while back, and this is about all the people that died in the name of evolution. Literally, they would go to like these areas and capture these pygmies and kill them and show these skulls and try to show that it was the missing link. And like really tons of people died. So if you want to learn about the atrocities of evolution, how many people died on it, I mean, besides that was the kind of basis for Hitler's superior race. You know, they had all these beliefs. The Japanese believed they were more superior for stupid reasons, like because they didn't have as much hair. I don't know. I mean, if we evolved, why can't I go outside and hang out with the deer when it's, you know, negative 10 degrees outside? How come I'm going to die in 20 minutes and the deer can just hang out there all night if I'm so evolved? The deer are superior beings. The animals are superior beings in that sense. We haven't evolved. We were created. different abilities, I guess. But that always baffles me when I see deer out there and it's like 15 below. And it's like, how in the... It's cold out there. What you doing out there? What are you doing out there, deer? No, seriously. Think about it. Why am I so small up here? I'll fix that. Boom. There I am. See my beautiful face now. Dragons in the Bible. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. I don't know what an asp is. I'm going to look that up later. Heads of dragons in the water. The shadow of the dragon. The dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Days shall not prolong. A lot of dragons in the sea, man. Have the dragons in a court for owls. Each laying grass. There's lots of mention. I didn't know dragons were mentioned in the Bible that much. I know in Revelation it talked a lot about the dragons. So boom, most of that's Revelation there. Most of it is in Revelation. Because you got the dragon, the vial, the trumpets. In Jeremiah, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, hath devoured me, hath cursed me, he hath made me an empty vessel, he hath swallowed me up like a dragon, he hath filled his belly with my delicates, and hath cast me out. Damn! Snuffed up the wind like dragons, their eyes did fail because there was no grass. I don't know what that's talking about. Jeremiah 14, I can't remember what that's going on there. I know there's fire-breathing dragons in here. I can't find it. It's probably in Revelations. It's to come. Ezekiel. I'm going to read about this. The great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, which hath said, my river is my own, and I have made it for myself. The Euphrates River, there's people out there who believe that they're it's not haunted. I mean, they believe there's actual it's so crazy. I can't even get into it. There was an Iraqi team that went into this cave, and they were instructed to. This is just part of the story. This is just part of it. I can't get into the Euphrates River right now. There was an Iraqi team that was told to go into this den, and they said to shoot above the head. And they're like, well, why the hell? Because they usually are taught to shoot, at the head, to kill. So they're like, what the hell? So they go in there, and they basically just end up fighting this giant that took on an entourage of bullets. You shoot above the head because you don't want to shoot his kneecaps, I guess. Shoot around his legs. I mean, you want to kill this thing. I guess they knew it was there, and they had to go take him out. You can look this up, man. It's the craziest stuff. But in short, the locals in that area think there's a chamber. It's biblical. I can't get into it. Of these angels locked up that are going to supposedly be released out. One of the end time signs is the Euphrates River gets dried up. So it's kind of a little winky dink about, all this stuff. And it has been getting dried up. They've had some serious issues with the Euphrates River. But it's for real, man. They're in there. Scientists think you ask them about what the center of the earth looks like, and they pretty much describe it like the Bible, they call it a hellish fire of iron and stuff. They don't know, man. That's what controls the North Pole and the magnetism and all that. They don't know that, for one. Yeah, I believe it, but they've only been, I think Russia got down the furthest, which is that far compared to this much. They got through the upper portion of the crust. They couldn't get down any further. No one's been down that far, man. No one's been down there. And it's not just iron, molten iron. There's more to magnetism than that. Y'all don't know what magnets do. You don't know how they work. You assume you assume they do. Maybe electromagnetism. You know a little bit about that. Okay? I'll give you that too. But you don't know anything about natural magnets. About the natural order of things. I think ICP said it best. Said, water, fire, wind, and dirt. Fucking magnets. How do they work? I don't want to talk to a scientist. Y'all motherfuckers lying and getting me pissed. Yeah, they said it best. It's field theory, dude. And it's the most fucking complex shit because no one knows how it works. It's all, it's basically theoretical. Yeah, you can calculate stuff, but that's what it comes down to. Man has walked with dragons. They always be lying to you. The scientists be lying to you. Anyway, have a good day.